Mercy is not the same as kindness. Kindness means I am being kind to you. I want to be kind. I want to do something nice. Mercy is different. Mercy means you really don't deserve something nice right now. You really deserve a punishment. You really deserve for me to be strict. You really deserve for me to say no. But I'm going to have mercy. I'm going to be merciful. I'm going to say yes, even though the person doesn't deserve it. Right? That's the difference between mercy and kindness. Mercy means being kind even when the person doesn't deserve it. Now the question is, why would a person have mercy? Why would we be kind to someone when they don't deserve it? When they've done something that they don't deserve it themselves because they've behaved in a way that it's not appropriate for them to have this kindness. Maybe they've hurt us as well and we don't particularly want to be kind to them. Now if it was just that they hurt us and we don't want to be kind to them, that might be, a little bit narrow-minded. But it could be a situation in which someone really doesn't deserve for us to be kind to them. So why would we be kind to someone if they don't deserve it? And if they've hurt us and we don't really feel like we want it and we know that they actually don't really deserve it, why would we be kind anyway? Why would we have mercy and show someone kindness even if they don't deserve it? Ultimately, what it boils down to is, if there's something deep down inside of us that sort of wakes up and says, you know what? Let's overlook the rules. Let's overlook what they deserve. They really don't deserve it. We'll give it to them anyway. Now, naturally speaking, we're not going to be equally merciful to everybody. If there's someone that's very close to us, if we have a very dear friend that we've known for 40 years and they've been, always been there for us and we have a very deep relationship with them, or it's our parent or our child or our sibling, a deep friend, whatever it is, anything like that, those are people that we're going to be quicker to have mercy on than someone else. But if there's someone who we love deeply, we're much more likely to say, you know what, you really don't deserve it. You really don't. I'm going to do it anyway. We're much more likely to say that to someone who we have a deep and close relationship with relative to just some random stranger. With a random stranger on the street, we're going to be less likely to say, you really don't deserve it. I'll do it anyway. We're more likely to say, you don't deserve it, period. That's it. Right? Why? Because if there's someone to whom we have a close relationship, someone that we love very much, someone that we're very close to already, that person already has a connection to deeper places in our soul. We've already formed a deep bond with that person. They're already connected to places deep within our soul. So when it comes to, deciding how we're going to behave towards such a person, they really don't deserve it. They messed up. They don't deserve it. They don't deserve it from us. They don't deserve it, period. But because they're connected to a place in our soul that's so deep that it's beyond whether or not they deserve it, it's beyond the rules. Right? When it comes to ourselves, do we sometimes give ourselves a break? Do we sometimes let ourselves do things that maybe it's beyond the rules, maybe we really shouldn't, maybe we really don't deserve it? Of course we do. We all do. We all give ourselves space sometimes, or give ourselves leeway that we don't really deserve. Because that's how much we care about ourselves. That's how close we are to ourselves. So if we feel very close to someone else, we'll also be more inclined to give them a break and to say, you know what? I'm going to have mercy. I'm going to say yes, even though the answer should be no. Even though you deserve a no and not a yes, I'll say yes anyways. Right? When we know someone very well and we care about them and love them deeply, they're already connected to deep places within our soul. And so they're already connected to places within our soul that are prepared to override the system and override the rules and say, you really don't deserve it, but I'll do it anyway. That's what mercy is, and that's where mercy comes from. Now, sometimes we could have mercy on a stranger. Why? Because who knows why? Maybe it was just the mood. Maybe for some reason we were making a decision about someone and they really didn't deserve something. But somehow, for some reason, this deep place within our soul was awakened. And we said, you know what? You really don't deserve it. I'll give you a break, even though you don't deserve it. That's mercy. Sometimes that place within our soul wakes up. But it's much more likely to wake up for someone who already has a connection to deeper places in our soul, right? Which is why when it comes to people who we really love, we tend to give them a lot more leeway and to have a lot more mercy, to be merciful, to be forgiving, even in situations which they don't deserve. Why? Because they're connected to us deep down inside. So when we say that the month of Elul is a time in which Hashem's 13 attributes of mercy are in effect, what that means is that the time of Elul, during this month of Elul, the time that we exist inside of, the time that the framework that we exist inside of, the operating system during this month of Elul, right? And like we said, every moment in time is a creation. It's created by God and it comes from God. The same way that every object that exists comes from God, and the same way that every person comes from God and every idea comes from God, every point in space comes from God and every moment in time comes from God. And different moments in time could, so to speak, come from different places within God. And the moments of time that the month of Elul is composed of, every moment of during the month of Elul is a moment in time that comes from deep, deep down within Hashem. Deep down in a place in Hashem where Hashem says, you know what? You've got me. You've got me all the way deep down in my soul. I'm prepared to overlook the rules. I'm prepared to override the system. I'm prepared to have mercy and to say yes, even if the answer should be no. And this is the time inside of which we exist for the whole month of Elul. We exist inside of time that comes from a place deep down within Hashem that says, I'm prepared to say yes, even though it should really be no. The deepest places within Hashem. So, what that means is that during the month of Elul, everything about this month makes it easier for us to be forgiven, to have mercy, to turn things around.